This is about the time when Princess Diana died. And I was quite moved by the condolences that she received at the time of her passing. And it made me reflect on my life and the life of all of us in the world, because there was such an outpouring of love and such a spontaneous reaction to her. So here goes. Who will fill the void? One of the books my husband introduced to me when we were first married was written by the founder of the Ralston Purina Company, William H. Danforth. The book, which is still in print, is titled I Dare You. In less than 150 pages, Danforth challenged his readers to create a richer life mentally, physically, spiritually, and socially. One of the many questions that Danforth suggested the reader answer was, am I a greater or lesser factor in my community than I was a year ago? Then he showed people how to create a personal program which, if followed, you would be able to answer affirmatively that you were. We did that. My husband and I accepted personal dares. We drafted an individual program. We posted this on the refrigerator, where it remained for several years until the paper was yellowed and crinkled. And long after those words were removed from the refrigerator, they remained in our hearts. But somehow, as the time passed, I forgot the dares I wrote for myself 17 years ago. But it was with the sudden death of Princess Diana and the public's reaction that I was reminded of them. Although many of those who mourned Princess Diana had never met the young, celebrated royal with human frailties, they stood in long lines to leave messages of condolences and bouquets of flowers. Organizations that were representing causes that she championed, like breast cancer, those injured by landmines, and AIDS patients, began receiving donations and assistance. No sooner was a void created with her departure, but two others of renown who dedicated their lives to meaningful work followed her. Mother Teresa, a Catholic nun, who dedicated her life to caring for the forgotten, and who established orphanages, hospices, and clinics around the world for the poorest of the poor, died September 5 at age 87. Excuse me while I turn the page. After joining a religious order in 1928, she took the name of Teresa. In 1948, she became an Indian citizen, and the church gave her permission to leave the convent and to work and live among the poor. Quote, "It was in the train that I heard the call to give up all and follow him to the slums to serve him among the poorest of the poor," she reportedly said of her calling. She founded the Missionaries of Charity, which supports 517 missions globally. Winning a Nobel Peace Prize in 1979, her name became synonymous with sainthood long before they actually made her a saint. Her death is also being mourned by millions. The third was a physician, an Auschwitz death camp survivor. After his liberation from a European concentration camp in 1945, Viktor Frankl wrote Man's Search for Meaning, in which he postulated that the primary motivational force for human beings is their striving to find a meaning in life. His book was translated into 23 languages. An estimated 9 million copies have been sold at that time. And in it, Frankl wrote, "The salvation of man is through love." Despite the physical and mental deprivation of the concentration camp, he said, it was possible for one's spiritual life to deepen. Love goes far beyond the physical person of the beloved. It finds its deepest meaning in his spiritual being, his inner self, he said. The psychiatrist who taught at Harvard and Stanford universities formulated what has been referred to as the Third Vienna School of Psychotherapy after Sigmund Freud and Alfred Adler. died at the age of 92 from a heart attack on September 2nd in Vienna, Austria. All three were as different as any people could be: Frankl, Mother Teresa, and Diana. Yet their work brought them in contact with people whose lives had been shattered by disease, trauma, and neglect. And they touched other people's lives in the process. Who will fill the void? Thanks.